Hi there, this is Paul and welcome here on the next video tutorial number 27. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to my channel right now and give like if you will see the video helpful for you. Today I will talk about errors. I will not talk about errors caused directly by Windows system or by Excel, but about errors that can be caused during the primary or secondary settings in your gene, and the gene makes sure that you are doing these settings correctly before you start the generation. At first, let's jump into the user guide, and here is the chapter about errors. And during primary settings, the errors are marked by red color as default. We can cause actually 14 errors, and these are also shown here. And let me simulate all the errors you can cause, and I will describe them step by step. So when we are starting the activation and primary settings, we will select game, and in case your preset is done not correctly, is incorrect, you can get a lot of errors. I will just use my game that is empty. It's not allowed to write here the preset because it can cause other problems, but here just for demonstration purposes I will show you what all errors you can get. So for example, you can have number of draws, maximum can be only 2. So if I put 0 and click setting, so I got following these errors. And if I put number 3, it's still not correct, so count of draws should be 1 or 2 only. So I will start with number 1, and we got rid of these errors. Then we have other errors because some values are missing. Then what I will show that we have number of balls can be 10, so it's correct, but if we put number of drawn balls 11, then it's error because it cannot be higher than number of balls in the drawing machine, so it's logical. Also, when there is a number of balls smaller, then it's okay, or it can be equal. It is also okay. And the problem can be if I am drawing just 5 numbers but selecting on ticket more than drawn numbers, for example 6. So this is also problem. This cannot be. And always when you have the error, it's written here that the count of bets should be equal or less than count of the lot numbers for draw 1. The same will be valid for draw 2, so I think I do not need to demonstrate it here. Then the count of the same draws, it should be 0 or 1, and if I use 2 draws and I put 0, then it will make you mistake because an error, because there is missing the. Now it's correct. This I will correct as well, and here it is taking as 0, so 0 numbers are drawn and 0 numbers are selected. It doesn't make sense, but from the view of gene it's correct. So I can put here number 1 and 1. If I put number 2, it will cause again an error. So let's keep number 1. Then the other is the count of the same draws. It can be 0 or 1. If I put 2, you will get again an error. Then number of draws, the pulse length should be some number from 1 and higher. So if I keep -1, it will be always problem. So let's keep it 10. Then if the number is too bigger than it should be from 1 to 2700, or this one should be also bigger. So I will put some big number and some small number, and here you see it is only this one error here, and here you see the gene setting error. So let's make it correct. Let's put 0. Just by trying this, we are getting into the correct settings. So we have just 3 errors right here. So the error should be more than 25. So if I put 5, it will be still an error. So as I'm using these 27, as it's located then here, the first cell, and column should be 1 or more that is written here. So I put here number 2, and again we get out of the error. And the last thing I should do, the count of the previous slots. So this is the history, and it should be, according to the theory, at least 1, and we are using, for example, 3. If I put the negative number, it will be also a problem. So I should put 1, and now the interface is printed. I have only one draw, and that's all what I need to do correctly during primary settings. I will activate it again and put here at least 4 previous draws. And what I am missing is the preset, so I didn't select the preset, so I will select preset and maybe some smaller one too. And you see everything is green and the interface is printed. So we went through all possible errors you can get during primary settings. They are written here, and you see how it looks when it's okay. So this is the worst situation you can get, and here you have everything green like we have here. Then there are possible errors before start. They can happen if you are not using the right seeds, or they are not used at all, or you have the filter incorrect, or the input box is not filled correctly. And let me show how we can simulate them. So the first thing is, if I put here numbers, I will try to randomly write some numbers. Something I leave empty. Then I will make the filter. I put number 5, 6, 7, and now I will try to run it. So after start we got a lot of errors, and there is a number of errors. There is not a description what errors are there because I do not have place where to print it, but there are 12 of them and they are marked by red. So we will start with the seed. We are missing the seeds, so I put some numbers. If I put negative number or 0, we can try it again. So only one seed is correct, and I put number 1, so seeds are correct. 0 is not also good, so I can put these numbers. This is how we solve the seed and swap numbers. Then there is an error with filter, so the value cannot be higher than the maximum is 5, because if you have 5 matches you cannot have more according to the preset. Then the gene is able to continue over the other walls. So I'll change it to 5 and trying start, and still the last wall is too high, so we can reduce it and start, and this is how we get rid of the errors. You can see we reduce it to 6 errors. What problem is right here? It can be done only when you make some mistake during rewriting the numbers, or you are using wrong preset for different lottery. So the first problem here is we have same 2 numbers, which is not possible. All the numbers should be different in each draw. So probably we did some mistake. I will write here number 10 to make them different, and trying to click start. Now it's correct. Then the second problem is that the numbers are higher than numbers of balls in drawing machine, so it cannot be higher than 36. So when we put 36, then it's all, but this one is still too high, and here we put number 4, for example. And finally the problem is if the numbers are missing, or if we use 0, because the gene doesn't work with zeros. Instead of 0, as I explained in one of the previous tutorials for the cash and pick lotteries, we can use number 10, but here I recommend to watch this tutorial. So you see we have still 2 errors, and before I started, let me jump if I went through all errors. So this is the 0 is not allowed, empty is not allowed, if this is the higher than allowed, and same numbers are not allowed. So I will try to simulate the negative number, and it's still not okay. And now we have everything okay, and then the gene is already running. So we came through all the possible errors during the setting and before start, so during the primary and the secondary settings. So that's all for today, and thank you for your attention. If you missed something, just replay it. If you are new here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and give like if you will see the video helpful for you. Provide your feedback, comments, and join us on the Facebook page and groups. And finally, you can support me also on the Patreon to become my patron and support my work there. So next time I plan to make new live stream, probably the open talks where we can join together, and then I will also release a new videos around the research and development, and the challenge number 1 will come soon. So there is a lot of stuff coming, and be in touch, stay tuned, and have a good time.